Welcome to the Queen of Awakening podcast, where you can learn how to leverage your energy for thriving relationships, better vitality, and more prosperity. Hosted by Jessie Cole. Welcome to podcast episode 11. This podcast is about the emotion code. I am an energy healer. I started off with Reiki, but that seems to be a pretty good stepping stone in the right direction for getting your energy level from here to here. But oftentimes, once you start doing it, you get hooked and you want to learn more about what you can do for energy healing and to help raise the collective consciousness and help more people. As an emotion code practitioner, I want to teach more people about how energy works. We're going to start off with some science. I have a biology degree, so this is pretty important to me. If you go to the law of conservation of energy, you will see that energy cannot be created or destroyed. So, where do we come from? Had to come from somewhere, right? We are spirit. We are immortal spiritual beings trapped in this big, bulky physical body. We come to the third dimension so that we can learn emotions and so that we can learn that we are creators. While our spirit is in this physical body, once you awaken, you learn that you are so much more than what you see and feel and touch and taste. There's so much more to existence than that. We are more than this physical body. We are spirits. And we are actually spirit projecting outward and creating this physical body around us. Which is a little wild and kooky. It actually takes a paradigm shift in order to stomach that. Not everybody can digest that information, and that's okay. So, back to the emotion code. How does that work? Well, we use magnets. There's a mag boy, and we are magnetic beings. We are energetic beings. We actually have a current running through our body. At the Heart Map Institute, they have been able to measure the field radiating out from the heart. It can be measured 50 feet out, I believe. And so sometimes our energy gets shifted, it gets stuck, it gets polarized, and we can use a magnet to help the energy flow better. Humans have an electromagnetic field, and it can be measured. And what happens is, when we go through traumas in our life, sometimes you block them out. You don't even remember them. It can happen at school. School's a pretty traumatic thing. I wouldn't go back to school for $1 million. College, yes, but not grade school or high school. These emotions can get stuck. If you are overwhelmed and you don't know how to process those emotions, which, let's face it, how many people have been taught emotional intelligence by their parents? If you did, you were very, very lucky, because humanity is evolving and changing, and a lot of our parents did not have the toolbox to teach us emotional intelligence. And that's okay. They were only coming from what they knew, and they were doing the best that they could. When you go through some sort of emotional trauma, like a breakup, or maybe your parents got divorced, or maybe you were teased at school, or maybe you got into a car accident, the list is boundless. Those emotions can get trapped within your body. And if you refer to podcast episode 1, that covers power versus force, you will learn about the emotional scale and how you can go from sadness to anger and so on and so forth to move up the emotional scale. But if that emotion is trapped in your body, like if you feel really sad about something, odds are it can get stuck and you need to have it released. In 1956, Japanese scientists found that there are both electric and magnetic forces that are moving through your body at all times. They exposed the body to pulsing electromagnetic fields. They were able to create electrical changes on a cellular level and change the metabolism of the cells. How cool is that? This phenomenon is known as the piezoelectric effect. Look it up. When the human body is exposed to magnets, really incredible things can happen. A lot of times, imbalances can clear up, diseases can go away. It can be really curative and magical. So, the magnets are used. We also use the energetic field of the body to use our body as a pendulum. This is what I use when I do the emotion code. You use a pendulum. And if you're not familiar with a pendulum, you start off, I will put my arm right up against my body to show you that I'm not moving because my family is really skeptical. Your body is always creating a current. So you start off at 0 and you say, love, love, love to get a baseline. Love is the most powerful emotion. I'm not moving this. This is moving from the electromagnetic field of my body. And you can say hate, hate, hate. So hate is perceived as negative, and love, love, love is perceived as positive. Hate makes you weak, love makes you strong. And this is how you determine a baseline. The trapped emotions will weaken your body. So that is how we are able to find them, because they get stuck. You do body testing, you use the magnets to help clear out your energy field. When an emotion code session starts, we take a moment of silence and we set an intention. Why are intentions so powerful? As immortal spiritual beings experiencing this human experience, intention focuses our will. We came here to be creators. We can create by default and live a life that we really aren't crazy about. Sometimes when things come up, it's because it was agreed upon in your soul contract before you came to Earth. But sometimes you're just creating by default and you're like, oh, shit, look what I did. Guess I better focus better. But you want to set an intention for healing. You want to feel love and gratitude in your heart for the person that you're working on. You pull up your handy dandy emotion code charts and you ask questions to get to the bottom of why the person is feeling this way, to find the emotions that they trapped. It's good to know their age, because you start at their age and you work backwards to find out where their emotions were trapped. You can get details on the event that occurred around that. And oftentimes the person's like, oh, I know what that was about. And if they don't know, sometimes they can just suppress it. They can say, oh, I don't really know what that's about. When I was doing my training, I did one on my friend, and she had terror trapped in her body at about the age of 17. And she said, I don't know where that would have come from. Fortunately, I knew her because we were friends, so I cast back to some conversations that we had about how we used to love reading Stephen King novels as we were teenagers, and she told me that she had stopped reading them because she was so scared, and I brought that to her attention. She said, oh my God, I bet that's where it came from. And after I released that, her baseline raised. And that was one example. I worked on my stepson because he's a minor, and I had his permission implicitly because he's a ward of the state for me. Not really. I told him what I was doing. But as a parent, you can make those decisions for your children because you have their best interest at heart. And it all comes from a place of love and gratitude. and wanting the best for them. But he would have anxiety attacks when he was driving. He was really anxious because his mom moved him around a lot when he was growing up. And so his baseline was set at anxiety. And I went through and I did 3 sessions on him. And he said that he didn't really feel any different. But a couple months down the road, I asked him, how's driving for you? Have you had any panic attacks? And he's like, I haven't. And I'm like, great, that's wonderful. And oftentimes you don't realize that you feel better because you're always moving on to the next set of issues in your mind. And it's good to cast back and look at what you were dealing with and how you are feeling better, because we get stuck in the mire of the things that are going on in our lives. Now, how do I practice the emotion code? Energy healing is really fascinating because since we are all immortal spiritual beings that have come here to experience this human existence, we come from a collective consciousness. We are all God manifesting ourselves as a human being. That allows us to tap into the collective consciousness and to connect directly with source energy or God, whatever you call it, it's all the same. And you can connect with God and use the verbiage to allow God's energy to connect with fill in the blank, whoever you're working on. As an energy worker, you connect with this person and you can clear out their trapped emotions remotely. You don't even have to be there to have a session and clear out these trapped emotions, to clear out heart walls, to help let love in. Because let's face it, we've all been hurt. Inadvertently, people hurt us. That's life. It's part of growing up. It's part of being here in this physical body. And if you form a heart wall, which 95% of people have, there's also hidden heart walls because the body is always trying to protect you. If you get hurt, the heart's like, oh, fuck this shit. We need to build a wall. We need to protect ourselves. The body is trying to protect you and make you feel safe. But when you have a heart wall, you are unable to let love in. It actually deadens the feelings that we have. And it allows us to not receive love or give love out as well as we could. Clearing out the trapped emotions of the heart wall can help you feel so much better and receive more love, and also to love yourselves. Think of how hard you are on yourself. As you tune in with the collective consciousness and allow God's energy to heal these people, because you're merely a channel as an energy worker, you're not depleting your own energy. You have to protect yourself, of course, so that you don't have any kind of entities attacking you or moving your pendulum to trick you. But you can connect with these people remotely and you can clear out their energy and you can allow healing to occur. It's a really lovely, fascinating way to help heal people. You can go to my website and check it out. Go to jessiecolewellness.com and you can learn about the emotion code. You can learn about Reiki healing. I can do distance sessions and I would love to set up a session with you and share this wonderful healing art with you. And that is all for today, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. And next week, I will have Sally Knapp on the show, and she is my mentor, and we will be doing even more sessions with her because I'm learning so much from her. It goes above and beyond the emotion code. She's started her own healing practice that I'm learning. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you. Bye.